How do you compare two high-end noise-canceling headphones with wildly different philosophies and features? We break down which one you should buy, the Sony MDR 1000X or the Sennheiser PXC 550, coming right up.
Right, the Sony MDR 1000X is big, comfortable, substantial, some may call it chunky, but it has the famous headband cracking issue we've mentioned in one of our videos.
And the Sennheiser headphone cups are shaped like eggs, which can be a bit weird, but they are shaped like your ears, so they sit comfortably.
The Sony offers a wealth of choice. 2 colors. You get the beige and the black, and they have these nice brushed steel accents.
Sennheiser comes in one important color, the beautiful black. I personally think it has that stealthy look and it looks professional. And I think that's what Sennheiser is going for in their marketing campaign. Have you seen that guy with his private jet and his chauffeur-driven car? I mean, who doesn't want to be this guy? Verdict, tie. Due to the design of the headphones, both the Sony and the Sennheiser are comfortable to wear for long periods.
I agree. Although I did feel a certain pressure on the crown with the Sennheiser PXC 550s, not too bad though.
And the headband adjustment on the Sony is very nice and clicky. Oh yeah. Whereas on the Sennheiser, they're smooth and it's a bit of guesswork. And if you're OCD, you want both sides to be equal, and that's not always very easy to do. Don't do that. Hey, and the Sennheiser, they actually do have a nice clicky feature.
So both these headphones are feature packed. Both have capacitive touchpads to start off with. I thought that the capacitive on the Sony was slightly more responsive, but the Sennheiser is not bad. You can use it for volume control, seeking tracks, etc. And the Sony has the famous hand over ear feature, which you can use to mute the audio that is playing and talk to the air hostess serving you champagne on your flight.
And you can do the same thing on the Sennheiser by double tapping the touchpad. Very business-like. So, what is Minder nice?
On the Sony, you don't really know what you're connected to. It says Bluetooth connected, so I could be connected to my neighbor's Xbox, where I was having a gaming session last night, or any other device.
Yeah, and on the Sennheiser, you only hear whether you're connected to phone 1 or phone 2. For all I know, phone 2 could be my washing machine.
Alright, I know we are defending our headphones, but let's be honest, they're not perfect. It's time for first world problems. Problem number 1, I have this whole LED disco light thing happening on the Sony, which I can't turn off, and it can be really annoying when I'm in pitch dark.
And pairing the first time on the Sennheiser can be quite annoying.
And the buttons on the Sony are bigger than the Sennheiser. This is one case where bigger ain't better. You really don't know which button you're hitting, they're all three very close together, whereas the Sennheiser, you get used to them very quickly and you don't make mistakes as easily.
And smart pause on the Sennheiser ain't very smart. The point of smart pause is that it pauses when you take off your headphones. But it just randomly pauses when you're bending over to pick up something, you're cycling, you're scratching your head, you're rubbing, you know.
Yeah, we get it. Thanks.
Yeah, just wanted to drive home the point.
And if you're an MDR 1000X owner, there's one phrase you'll hate. There's an app for that. Because there ain't one for this model of the Sony.
I quite like that saying. Verdict, tie.
So the call quality on the Sony is...
Yeah, you're right. You can't hear what he's saying. But that's how people feel like when they're on the other side of the phone call.
You know, I wish there was a device somebody invented on which you could, take it around, you could make phone calls, and you could install something on that device with which you could change the quality of the...
You mean a mobile app?
No one likes a smartass, Kevin.
They do like smart headphones.
So as you've guessed, there's no app to change anything on the Sony.
So on the Sennheiser, there is an app, but the UI can use some improvements. You can use this app to customize the EQ and set FX modes.
So you can have EQ presets independent of the FX, and although audio purists might scoff at this, I personally enjoyed the flexibility. Alright, getting to the heart of the discussion, let's go to the sound quality, Kevin. So start off with the Sony. The wireless sound quality I thought is pretty flat, although I think that do sound better when noise cancellation is turned on. You get back some of the low end. Wired, they sound really good with a nice source, as we mentioned in our review and other videos many times. But that's it for the Sony. In terms of wireless sound quality for the PXC 550, I thought it was marginally better than the Sony in some areas. On the other hand, I didn't like the shrill highs. So for example, if you're listening to music with cymbals, they really stand out and sometimes they're piercing. If you're listening to podcasts, the S's really jump up at you. I did not like that experience either. But what I do like about the Sennheiser is you can change all of this. You can change the EQ, you can add other parameters that tweak the sound to your liking.
Because you have an app for that.
And wired, I thought it was very comparable. I tested using the LG G6 with the quad DAC. It was identified as a high impedance device. That was good. But in general, I thought they were very comparable, both of them.
Talk about noise cancelling. The passive noise cancelling was good on the Sony, but it was awesome on the Sennheiser.
Yeah.
You have a story to tell.
I have a story to tell. So we're based in the Netherlands, as you know, and we are supposed to be cycling around everywhere as we do. And when I was testing the Sennheiser, I could never hear the wind, which was really nice. I didn't even have to turn on the active noise cancellation. With the Sony, I hear the wind a little bit. So that is a clear advantage for the Sennheiser. But what did you think about the active noise cancellation, Kevin?
The active noise cancellation was comparable. It was better on the Sony. However, they take a different approach. Sony has preset noise cancelling modes, whereas the Sennheiser has only 3 modes. But the adaptive noise cancelling mode can be adjusted through the app.
Right. And on the Sony, the quality of noise cancelling can be changed, not necessarily the level. So you can have the ambient sound mode and the ambient voice mode.
Verdict. Tie.
So those are the 3 parameters we ran through, and this has been a really close fight. But to be honest, I marginally prefer the Sennheiser for all the flexibility it offers me and the excellent passive noise cancellation and the presence of an app.
And if you look at the prices right now, the Sony is cheaper than the Sennheiser.
Yeah.
But for latest prices, do check out the links in the description below.
Right. I'm sure that might make up the mind for some of you.
Verdict. Marginally prefer the Sennheiser, but Sony is cheaper.
So that's it, guys, for a comparison of the Sony MDR 1000X and the
Sennheiser PXC 550.